I understand starting with the school bell ringing is a bit systematic, but it reminded me of when I went to school. I also felt it tied in with the whole education theme. I chose the welcome sign to greet the viewer to my digital story. This went along with the picture being the oldest wooden schoolhouse. I felt the picture gave it a personable tie even though it was a vacation picture. My page flipping transitions between subject or quotes gave the viewer a story-like feeling of chapters, since it is a story, just not in paperback. While in those ideas I used a blurred transition for the viewer would not feel a change of idea. I took out the music at the beginning transition, thinking I could put it back, but my patience ran out and it felt it would be fine without it. The first quote, by Viegas and Lucas, was important to me because it illustrates you cannot work together in a productive way if you do not know the person, and in this case would be our students. I think a teacher needs to be more connected with the students almost as if they're raising them. The apple picture was placed there because I did not know what else to put there, but it does, however, make the connection of a teacher and an educator image in my head. Next, the two community pictures both coincide with my narration. The first being different colors representing different cultures all holding hands as one unified group. This is the direction we need to strive for. The second being just a simple symbol of community. The next few pictures are just to back up visually what I am saying about the choices a teacher has to get to know a student and his or her environment. I also picked out some pictures to make an impression of the barriers also involved with getting to know a student. My favorite image I put in this project was the comic at the end of the first section. I felt that as an educator, we need to stay away from the negativity in lounges because it will just project into the future in our classrooms. The second quote by Fieri makes complete sense. I grew up being taught in the content fashion. I needed to regurgitate the information. I resent that way of teaching. I feel learning for me is harder to grasp because of that style. Again, these pictures also visually back up my narration. The first three pictures are to indicate the old ways, with thinking outside the box picture proceeding right after. This shows the direction in which a critical educator needs to go. The next group of pictures are demonstrating the group center concept. A few of the pictures were taken when I did my practicum a couple years back. Those pictures lead to you into how the center learning concept leads to a student being able to bring those concepts learned in class to the real life events. The third quote by Jay Irving tells the viewer an educator is human. They have feelings inside the classroom and are not just robots for 8 hours. I did not feel putting pictures with the narration was a good idea because it would take away from the meaning of the words and the importance behind each of those characteristics. Finalizing the digital story, I want to show what I find to be the most important concept behind being an educator. The quote from Freire, quote, there is, in fact, no teaching without learning, end quote. If we stop learning, we are not growing with societal changes, which is important with whatever field one goes in. This brings me to the end when the wooden schoolhouse flashes up and you see a sign that says, do not play hooky from school. And then following that brings you to my credits where I credit my boyfriend who did the quotes. I felt that those were more powerful coming from a male voice, and then my narrations telling you that side of the story in an educational way.